This is Super Xevious on the Xbox One. It was an NES. It was a Famicom specific game, an NES game that was apparently only released in Japan. Included as part of the NAMCO Museum Archives Volume 2 collection, which includes about a dozen games. Actually, I think it includes about 8 or 9. I'll double check. We're going to play Super Xevious. It also includes Mappy Land, which is the NES adaptation of the original Mappy video game. Again, this NES port is not the same as the arcade game. It's more of a traditional side-scrolling platformer. Legacy of the Wizard, the infamous NES game, with music by Yuzo Koshiro. Rolling Thunder, the NES port of Rolling Thunder, which I did play on this channel, the arcade version specifically. We'll be playing the NES version of this game later. Dragon Buster 2, which I never knew existed. It's a top-down action game with arrows. That's really all I can say about it. I tried to play it earlier. We'll sample it a bit later. It's apparently not great. Mendo Palace is actually very good. It's a top-down puzzle action game released in Japan as Quinty, a game about pulling the rug out from under enemies. Surprisingly entertaining. GA Plus, or GA Plus, the Plus, I guess it's called. It's sort of a sequel to Galaga. Looks pretty interesting, though. I got to play more of that a bit later. And, of course, the NES port of Galaga is included here. Galaga's always worth playing if you get the chance. I don't buy it, but as a filler game, it's fantastic. I play this every once in a while. We just want to chill and vibe. Battle City is a top-down puzzle action game about tanks. It's a sort of a horde mode tank game with destructible walls. Pac-Land is the NES port of the terrible side-scrolling arcade game, which is one of the first side-scrolling platformers, apparently. It's terrible. Dig Dug 2 is the very unpopular sequel to the incredibly popular Dig Dug arcade game. This is the NES port of that sequel. And we're going to play Super Xevious. This is a pretty interesting digital collection. I bought it for less than $5. Again, I mentioned before, I'm a sucker for these anthologies and compilations where I get to play old video games I never got to play before. I'm always down for playing an old NES game. This collection includes at least 8, as you just saw. Half of these probably aren't amazing. I've personally played at least 2 of these before buying this collection. But we're going to play a game I've never played before, because I've never played Xevious on this channel before. This is apparently the sequel to that. Only came out in Japan on the Famicom. Just as well. I don't think Xevious was ever really that popular here in the States. But it was apparently massive in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. It was the most influential Japanese arcade game since Space Invaders. So many Japanese top-down scrolling shooters were inspired by this game. Me, I barely played the original NES port back in the day, and I will get around to playing it eventually, but this channel has gone 15 years without a Xevious reference, and I guess we're going to end that streak today. You press one button to shoot, you press the second button to drop bombs. The reticle down there in front of your ship is where the bombs will land. So you use them to take out ground emplacements. That's pretty much all that is. That reticle may change color if there's a hidden item underneath it. So if you release a bomb under that reticle when it changes color, there may be like bonus items or one-ups. At least that was the way it worked in the original Xevious. This music is terrible, just a fair warning. I'm going to turn it off eventually. Oh, hold on. We had a secret area into the clouds? Oh, what? Huh. Is there like a secret area into the clouds that I missed? What? Just a second. Can I rewind that? I want to do a quick check on something. I want to save this because I've never been here before and I'm not sure what it means. So I want to come back to that later. We'll play normally after this. I promise. Can't see the reticle. Okay. That's something. Didn't see that in the original game. I lost my ship. What gift? Hey! What was that about? And also, this music is really frustrating. It's tilting me, as the kids say. Oh, that's a power-up. So I guess I don't know what that was about. Yeah, what was that power-up I just got? Yeah, what was that power-up I just got? Oh, I missed the blue one. Let's see what the black one does. Best kind of power-up. Can't get it. Yeah, what does this do? Yeah, I don't know. What does that do? I have no idea what that does. Now, let me get another save in there. I want to see what's going on. I'm trying to practice this game, okay? I'm trying to see what it wants me to do. Because this game didn't come with the manuals. It doesn't tell you how to do anything. So I might as well find out during this research stream. Okay, let's try again. Okay, where's it going to come from? Got the blue, so that shoots it from behind. That's cool, I guess. Doesn't seem terribly useful, but I'll make use of it somehow. What does the black one do? Don't know what that did. Missed. So what does the black one do? Oh, it's a orbiting shield, I suppose. Sounds amazing. Okay, so that's useful, I suppose. Got power-ups in a Xevious game. Who knew? Yeah, were there power-ups in the original Xevious? I want to say no. It's almost like Ikaruga in a way. In fact, yeah, the original Xevious had those ships that would like fly away from you if you shot at them. Where are they? They just completely get rid of those? Because there was that whole thing where if they would swoop towards you, and as soon as you fired at them, they would swoop away to the side. What happened to them? They're like the Xevious enemy. They're the unbreakable blocks. But yeah, what happened to those enemies that would just kind of swoop away from you? What happened to them? Whoops. I thought I had a shield. Where'd my shield go? Oh, that was dumb. It does kind of suck that the rewind function only seems to be like 5 seconds at a time. This banger just keeps dropping. Can't stop, won't stop. Too bad you can't rebind the buttons. Gah! So is it game over, game over? Oh, that's not great. That's not great at all. They don't swerve away from you when you shoot as quickly as they do in the original game. They changed the behavior of those things. Huh? You already blow these things up? You have to blow all these things up is the question. So is this level just go in a loop until I destroy all the ground emplacements? Because the whole vibe of this game seems to be like hold down the fire button, then occasionally press the bomb button. Yeah, it's not that forgiving when you drop where the bomb winds up. It's not that forgiving. It can be forgiving, but it doesn't seem to be. Yeah, it looks like we're in a loop till we destroy all those ground emplacements. Who thought this was a good idea? That means we're basically wandering around for like 30 seconds waiting for a target to show up. That's a bizarre design decision. Yeah, it's like we're in a loop till we destroy all the ground. But the game never makes it clear that that's what we need to blow up. So I'm just doing it because I'm just kind of figuring that's what we're supposed to do here. Yeah, this art style is weird. Like I've always been kind of intrigued by the bold green grass, blue sky look, but this game is a weird one. Yeah, I think the problem with Xevious is that ultimately in the early 1980s it was a big deal, but shooters got a lot more complex over time, and this whole idea about, bombing occasionally to shoot stuff on the ground just doesn't work for me. It never really did. Because your eye is trained to just looking, basically, there's a reason why most shooters keep all the action confined to one plane. They don't make you look at the ground unless it's something you can shoot. The idea is in most shooters you're supposed to dodge. And you're supposed to bob and weave. And in the case of a game like Radiant Silvergun, you might choose specific weapons for specific areas. But in a game like this, where you're constantly scanning the ground for stuff to shoot occasionally, it just doesn't. Yeah, that whole bit where I was wandering around for the last 30 seconds not being able to shoot at any ground targets because none appeared. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to blow up every single one of those things. So I'm wandering around for 30, 40 minutes not shooting at anything because the game wouldn't let me get anything. That's awful. That's terrible. Yeah, that makes no sense to me. That is just bizarre. And I still don't understand what the whole thing was with the clouds. What was that about? I don't even need the bombs here, do I? Yeah, I don't need the bombs here. But yeah, the whole idea about the clouds and the foliage, foreground objects, doesn't make the game better. It just makes it more frustrating. I know it's kind of cool to see NES games do this foreground effect. It's kind of cool to occasionally see NES games do foreground effects, but they don't make the game better. They just make it harder to see. They make the game unnecessarily harder, I'm afraid. Yeah, I guess the idea is we're flying below the trees, like we're flying below the clouds, but it doesn't make the game better. It just makes it more. It just makes it harder to see what's going on. That doesn't help. It doesn't make the game more. Whoops! Don't hit the pyramids. It doesn't make the game better. It just makes it more frustrating. Whoop. Yeah, because you're shooting in front of you to see if there's anything that's going to attack you, but hopefully there are no projectiles below those things. Maybe later in the game that becomes a problem. But yeah, like at some point, Gradius, like was it R-Type, Gradius, games like that just kept going because they just did a better job of conveying. They did a better job of iterating on their mechanics over time eventually than games like this just kind of chilled. Never really amounted to much. Sad. So I got my shield. Don't know if it's going to do anything. So yeah, this game came out in '89, kind of late for a game like this. Like if this came out in like '86 or '87, sure you could justify it, because we hadn't quite figured out all the rules yet. But yeah, just this kind of shooter, '89 is way too late for that crap. Like we're already in the Life Force era by then, and Life Force has a few problems, obviously, but you know it's like it's more sophisticated than this. Like wider range of power ups. Obviously you have the power up wheel. So you have more options about what your loadout is. Like this feels. I mean, I like the idea of having to choose between the power ups if that supply ship drops. That's kind of cool. But yeah, this does not feel particularly compelling in any way. This feels like a blah mid '80s shooter that got released in 1989. And I can't really get behind Xevious just as a game. It's just, to me, it just felt too simplistic. I couldn't really get excited. I can't get excited about Xevious. I understand its importance in video game history, but much like Pac-Man, it's just I never really got into it when it launched. I was never really a fan when it launched, and as I grew older, I never really appreciated it more. It feels like a game that I avoided as a child because it didn't seem that interesting. And as an adult, I'm even less invested in playing it, other than as an artifact. Yeah, like to me, games like Xevious and Pac-Man they're cultural artifacts, and their importance should be measured on those terms. But outside of that context, these particular games don't have any real interest to me. There are filler games that I play if they're just lying around, but I'm supposed to blow something up that I'm not shooting, I bet. Did they want me to blow up all the tanks now? No, okay, I made it. I was worried that they weren't going to let me advance. This is like the Lost Woods and whoops! That sucked. That's like the Lost Woods and Legend of Zelda. It's like I'm stuck. Okay, we're good. So don't touch the wall. It'd be nice if they gave you an opportunity to. It'd be nice if they didn't just make you dodge. And how would you know you couldn't touch the wall until you died? Really? I can't shoot. Oh, bombs only. Oh, I can't shoot. Bombs only. Wow, the worst part of Xevious is being forced on you. Bombs only. Wow. Another terrible decision. And they're probably not going to let me advance till I beat all this, till I blow all this stuff up, are they? I think the rocks are shooting me. Yeah, man, the worst part is Xevious. You can't even shoot. You can only bomb. Oh, man. You can barely see those black balls. We're getting blackballed. So I can't leave till I blow this stuff up, huh? Okay, I blew that up. So we're just going to go in a loop, aren't we? Yeah. That... Bouncing. I'm bouncing. Shame. I got the high score with some cheating and some rewinding. No. I'm bouncing on this one. So yeah, once you get past some of the choke points, the game's actually not that hard. But yeah, having to start from the beginning is every time you die is, well, from the when you lose all your lives, sure, but that's rough, man. Not unusual for the era, unfortunately, but not much of a video game. C- at best. Again, I'm not sure. I never really was into Xevious as a younger individual, as a younger gamer. And again, to me, these games have no value except as cultural artifacts. I don't get them. I get them, but I don't see. In other words, I don't see the point of getting them. They're cultural artifacts. If you didn't grow up playing them, there's really no reason to spend much time with them. Watch a YouTube essay about games like Xevious. Play a little bit of it to see how it deals with the dynamic level design, where enemy waves appear in different ways depending on how high your score is. Apparently, like that seems okay. But beyond that, I don't see much reason to play a game like Xevious when you can play like literally like 100 competent shooters that came out after Xevious. Again, cultural artifact, has value as a cultural artifact. Beyond that, it's not much of a video game. I'm sort of soft pedaling this because I have to give it its props based on its love, based on its influence. But like a lot of classic art, the art form has advanced so much that it's kind of hard to kind of drag yourself kicking and screaming through the muck and mire of the muck and through the tar pits of history if you can just play something that's a lot better. Games have evolved beyond what Xevious was trying to do, and shooters have gotten way better than Xevious. Xevious is literally just, even again, I was there and I didn't care. So worth sampling, not much of a game. Play it for like 10-15 minutes, read about some of its design principles, and then move on to something that's way better. That's my review of Xevious. It's a bad game that was important when it came out, but it can't hold up. Nothing about that game needs to be emulated in future games, I would argue. Or if they do emulate them, they need to do so in a more sophisticated way than Xevious does it. So I'll put it that way. But that was super Xevious. What button do I press to advance? Because I could go to that... Yeah, I think I'm supposed to go to that dungeon. Press select or start. Yeah, press select. So you can choose where to start, but these areas feel very samey to me. So this arrow bounces off walls, as you saw earlier. It can also hit you, so be careful. That seems to be the one mechanic in this game. Arrows that bounce off walls. Arrows are also limited. You have to press the button to see your inventory. Plan accordingly. Never heard about this game. Never knew it existed. I knew Dragon Buster existed in passing. Did I hit him? Got him. Press A to pick up the key. This is like a bootleg version of Wise. You know, Ease. He's on down the road. Yes, it's like a really like crappy version of Hide Light. Not even Hide Light. It's just, ugh. This thing barely runs. Like it's like a hamster wheel. It's like handling the scrolling for this game. It's really choppy. Key? Ow! Stupid. Can't open the door. Ow! I can't open the door. I shot myself in the face twice. So that's not a door I can open? I thought... I have a key. What do I need to do? Because I want to say this is just one big maze, right? Well, a small maze. Now that I have a key, how do I get out? Dragon Buster. 2. And apparently, I thought the original Dragon Buster was like a side-scrolling melee platformer. So I don't know what the heck is going on here. So how do I select? Okay, press. Clear that level out. We'll come back and play Dragon Buster 2 later. It looks terrible. And it didn't come with a manual either, so that's not very helpful either. You must find the Dragon Mountain and defeat the dragon. Okay, each round you must find the Dragon Mountain and defeat the dragon. Okay. Cave switch between status screen and content screen. Leave through the exit. Okay. Return to map mode. That always sounds amazing. Yeah. Don't understand that game at all. We already played Mendel Palace in an earlier video. Great game. Should play more of it. Again, Galaga is the NES version of Galaga. You don't have to worry about it. Well, I guess what I will do is I'll sample a couple of these other games. Yeah, we'll sample Gay Plus in a second. The Ga Plus Armada. The Ga Plus Armada or the Gay Plus Armada. Equip the fighter ship with power-up parts called Blaster Heads. Defeat an enemy queen to equip its Blaster Head power-up. There are 6 type of Blaster Heads! Exclamation point. Just a second. I can't see the instructions. Got it. Come get me. Got 3 of them. 3 ghost ships. Holla. Look at that. That's how it's done. So apparently, when you shoot down the queen, you get that blaster head. That creates a vacuum. You can vacuum. You can't move your ship higher than halfway up the screen. But if any aliens dive bomb you, they get caught up in the vacuum, and then they become ghost ships. Or drone ships. So that's cool. Plus, we're a larger target. Okay, we're down a few. We can move up at least. What is this, Twin B? Yeah, is this Twin B? Whoop, lost one. Okay, so it's like Twin B. So it's like Twin B. This game's kind of cool. Let me back out a bit. Let me try something. Okay, so we'll save the game here so I can come back to it. That sounds fun. So we'll play around with the bonus mode a bit later. Ga Plus seems really interesting, actually. I do want to play more of this later. We'll also play Rolling Thunder a bit later, too. In fact, that's not going to be our next video. Never really understood Dig Dug 2, but I mean, Dig Dug is fine. I just can't play it for more than 10 minutes. This is a game that adds a second level, kind of like Xevious, where instead of just attacking enemies that are on your plane, you can also drop the drill into the ground. And you, like in Kicks, you use the drill to cut off sections of the stage. And if you cut off an entire section of the stage, it falls into the water. Kind of like in Kicks. So they added some Kicks. They added a Kicks zone control mechanic, I guess, to what they were doing in the original game. So they added another layer of mechanics to this game, and everyone seems to hate it. See what I mean? Now, you can actually use your pump, but I'm using the kicks mechanic instead. Oh, shot me. Oh. I never quite figured out what the deal was with falling in the water. I think there's like a 50-50 chance you fall in the water if you don't press away from the falling island in time. The crumbling island. Again, never understood Dig Dug 2. We'll see how it goes. We'll tease Battle City again. It's a horde mode. It's a top-down game with tanks and destructible environments. You can make your own levels, apparently. We'll test that out later. I want to say this was from the creator of Dig Dug. Made this top-down tank game with destructible environments. Defend the eagle at the bottom of the screen. Shoot flashing tanks for power-ups. Oh, they stopped. You can shoot the bullets. The white walls are indestructible. The brown walls are the destructible ones. Ow! Got me. Ow! Got a fast one. One more to go. Okay, so that's Battle City. We'll play a full version of that later. And I guess we'll tease Rolling Thunder. We'll do a whole video of that later. Again, this is the NES port of Rolling Thunder, which was published by Tengen in the United States. I want to say it was actually licensed. I know that, well, excuse me, Tetris was not licensed. That's the version everyone wants to play because it's two-player competitive Tetris. There was this, and I think RBI Baseball, of course, was a licensed Tengen game. But I did play this when it launched. And I was a huge fan of the arcade game. Still one of my favorite arcade games of the 80s. I'm pretty sure you don't want rapid fire. I'm pretty sure you don't want rapid fire in a game like this. Not dead. Stupid. Bad. stupid. Still a big fan of this game, but the lack of a crouch turn is almost a deal breaker. Almost. So we'll end the game right. The theme song to Pac-Man. And this terrible NES port of a terrible arcade game. A game where you press one button to move to the left and one button to move to the right, and you use the rapid fire to move more quickly. You press up on the D-pad to jump, like in Street Fighter 2. Terrible game. terrible game. But sing if you know the lyrics to the theme song. Pac-Man. 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 That was rapid fire the entire time, just so you know. Pac-Man. Pac-Man. Ow! Pac-Man. Pac-Man. Okay. It's always gonna throw me off. Pac-Man. Pac-Man. Come on! Sound effects are really bad in that game. So the best way to end this video is to actually into the dope soundtrack. Terrible game, but good music. Record this music with the Turtle Beach headset, plugged into the audio splitter for the J5 Create capture device. Quad-core Gateway Silver laptop, capturing this footage on the Windows 10 camera app at 60 frames a second.